Yes, this is wildlife biologist Eric Orff with my New Hampshire Fish and Wildlife YouTube channel, and I think today I'll do my nature notes. It's mid-May, right in the middle of the month of May here in central New Hampshire, and lots of things are happening. Now, birds are songs and calls are filling the air. A northern oriole, chickadee just scolded me, tufted titmice, robins. Just the air is full of bird songs, and it's mating season, and they're having nests and hatching off young. And it's not just the birds that are having their young. Most of our mammals, raccoons and porcupines and fisher and woodchucks, they've all had their young maybe a month ago or so. We're very close to it. And some of these young are starting to wander to follow their mothers. And just a few nights ago, my wife got a text from a neighbor down the road who were out for a walk, and they said, oh, they saw a baby porcupine. What should we do? Should we pick it up? Should we bring it someplace? No, you do not pick up wildlife in New Hampshire. Leave it alone. They have their mothers nearby. There's no reason to pick these animals up. And in fact, you will doom some of them if you do. Well, for example, I worked for 30 years for New Hampshire Fish and Game. The last 20 years of my career, I worked out of the Region 3 office in Durham. But I happen to live near Concord. So you know what? People would pick up raccoons, baby raccoons, and have them for a few days, and then they would call Fish and Game, oh, I got this baby raccoon. Can you come and get it and take it to somebody? Guess what happened to the baby raccoons? They are a rabies risk. Small, but it is a risk. So the conservation officer would pick up the baby raccoon, bring it to Region 3, kill it, and chop its head off. But because I lived near Concord, I would take the baby raccoon head up to the state labs for testing for rabies. By picking up a raccoon, you are killing them. Leave them alone. Do not pick them up. Now, there are wildlife rehabilitators in the state that handle a lot of these baby animals. Yes, I mean, if there's a mother raccoon dead in front of your house with some babies around, give Fish and Game a call. Let somebody with experience come and pick them up. Don't you do it. There are wonderful rehabilitators that take care of lots of animals, although many of them won't rehabilitate raccoons because of the rabies risk. But nevertheless, there are lots of wildlife rehabilitators across the state that take especially baby birds and things like that. But in 99% of the cases, leave the animal alone. If it's a baby bird, put it on a branch, put it on a, get it off the ground so the local neighborhood cats or yours doesn't kill it, eat it. So, get it off the ground if you can. But birds don't have a sense of smell. You are not going to keep the mother from coming to it if you pick it up and put it back on a branch or on something high. No problem. But leave it there. Do not take it inside your house. Do not put it in a box unless, it is injured or it clearly needs, it's 99% of the cases, just leave it alone. So yes, this is a magical time in New Hampshire. There is more wildlife in New Hampshire right now than any other time of the year. The fishes have laid their eggs and they're hatching. The frogs and toads have laid their eggs. So there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of baby animals, from fish to frogs to toads to birds to raccoons. New Hampshire has just filled with baby animals the last few weeks, and will continue to do so for the next couple of weeks. In fact, it's going to rain tonight. By the way, don't drive. I went for a late night drive last night, just here in town, to see what I could hear for spring peepers, and guess what? They're still peeping. So this has been a bit of a late spring. In fact, looking around, here's my lilacs. I got some leaves just this week. A lot of the trees have not leaved out yet, so we're about 5 or 6 or 7 days late for spring, based on my observations. So we're running a little bit late, and the frogs are still laying their eggs. They're still calling. They're still mating, and so any rainy night, don't drive. If we can all avoid driving for the next month, do that, because our frogs are still migrating and to the wetlands, and then they'll be leaving the wetlands. So, yeah, leave them alone. Don't drive after dark if you can. So, yes, New Hampshire has filled with wildlife right now. Birds and everything, baby fish and frogs and fisher and raccoons and deer. and moose. This is just a wonderful time of year, and New Hampshire has been filled with wildlife. Get outside and enjoy it, but leave it alone.